to meet my amazing guest today. So, first of all, my name is Mary Falvi. I'm chapter head for Women Power in Spain. And today we have a very special show for many reasons. First of all, our guest has been doing work towards women empowerment for a long time, and she's absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to hear all about her work, her journey, and how she became this powerful goddess. I'm going to call you
I
that.
accept.
That's the energy you embody. And then at the end, because my beautiful guest today is originally from Ukraine, although she's lived all over the world, we do want to take the opportunity to see how we can best help the people of Ukraine who are going through hell and more. And let's call things by its name. I'm all about light, love, and peace. But come on, this is a genocide, and we need to see how we can help those people and anyone who wants to support them. Okay, let's just make this a global calling for people who want to support the Ukrainian people who are suffering so terribly. And we will also share what we're doing in Women Power Spain. We have created a plan to help refugees arriving in Spain. And that will be at the end of this show. We will also have Mr. DK Bakshi join us at the end. And as you know, Mr. DK Bakshi is the founder of Women Power. We are now present in 24 countries. So many incredible women changing their lives, learning how to find that leader within that we all have. But sometimes along the path of life, we forget about that leader that was with us when we were little. And Women Power is all about giving women the tools, the support, the safety, the skills so that they can become independent and make their own choices, because choice is power. And without further ado, let me introduce you to my wonderful guest today. Antonina Andreeva is, as I said before, originally from Ukraine, but she's lived all over the world. She is a transformational coach. She's the founder of the House of Aphrodite, and she brings so many skills to the table that hopefully today we're going to be able to open up a window into the amazing work she does. So welcome, Antonina. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Melanie, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. I'm honored to be here in your
Well,
space.
I'm really, really delighted to have you, because this is something I think I've shared on some of the shows. I have my own ideal guest list, and it's obviously always powerful women I admire, I've been following for a long time. Some of them are friends, some of them are clients, some of them I've worked with. There's a bit of everything, and you were definitely on that list because I've seen you grow so much as a coach, as a person. And I mean, you were always powerful. And I think we probably more or less started at the same time online. Yeah, so I have seen your progression, and it's been such a joy to witness every single step, every single up level. I mean, you were just becoming, and you were just becoming like the most powerful version of yourself. I mean, till now, I know the growth is never ending. Yes. And it's just, it's really a joy to watch, and it's so inspiring. So I'm just really, really honored that you are with us today.
Thank you for that beautiful reflection. I'm really receiving that. Thank you.
And I think that many people watching this show, because we have a global audience, are going to find your story inspiring, because as we said, you were born in Ukraine, and all your life experiences, of course, have shaped you. Yeah. What was growing up like, and what is left of that little Antonina? How has that little Antonina become this woman of excellence today?
What a great question. Thank you for that. So I was growing up in the era when the Iron Curtain was coming down, and USSR, as it were, was on the brink of collapse. So I feel like I have great experiences in living through major political and world crisis. And it is so ironic is probably the word I'm looking for, but it's not as encompassing as what I'm trying to express, that here we are in living in the times where we're again undergoing a political crisis that's touching not only Eastern Europe, but the rest of the world. And what I remember, what I know, what I recall from those times was that was a time of great change and great transformation. The world as we knew it, as those who populated the ex-USSR, was coming to an end. And all the structures and all the systems and all the beliefs that we held and perhaps we were indoctrinated into were collapsing in front of our own eyes. And again, I sense that this is what we are going through now in many ways. I don't think any of us have anticipated that we would live to see, another catastrophe of that magnitude. But it's not just about that. I think we overall live in a collapsing system. There's so much shifting and changing right now everywhere in the world, where any sphere, any area that you take, there is that massive shift that's happening. And so in that way, I'm very much reminded of my childhood, because there wasn't any certainty. There wasn't clarity as to what tomorrow would look like. You had to shift and adapt. And again, this is the time that I feel that we're living in now. And funnily enough, you said, what is it that I remember? Well, as somebody who has lived in a number of countries over the years, there is always a shift in identity that needs to happen in order to adapt into a new environment. So it's interesting that the last 2 years I've really been reconnecting to my nativity and my native identity, because it's just such a big part of who I am and what I am about. And I became really interested in the culture, in the arts, in everything that shaped in history of the country. And I'm seeing that through what we're living through now, there's a lot of that re-emerging into our conscious awareness. And I think that a lot of us, again, through the times of great change, are looking for that something to connect to. And as the falsities are falling away, what you can count on is what unites us. So we're all looking for those common threads, for those common ideals, for those common values. And when it comes down to it, it's really that simple. It's really about knowing who you are and where you come from and how, and then finding ways to connect inspiration from that, perhaps.
So simple. And
I also always
help people precisely to make it simple for them. I think you give people the key to access that awareness, that consciousness, and then it becomes simple. But I think probably knowing yourself is one of obviously the best things you can do for yourself and for people around you. But it's also really, really hard, especially when you don't have the tools.
Oh, and I said simple. I did not say easy. Simple and easy are two different things.
Okay, yes, exactly.
Yeah, simple is because when it comes down to it, when you strip away everything extra, it is simple. But it's simple and easy are similar, but yeah, they're different. I agree.
Definitely. So tell us a bit about the work you do, and before that, even how did you find your calling? Because you're definitely a woman on a mission. I mean, your work is really impacting so many people, and of course, when you impact one person, that has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So how did you find that was your mission? What was the
Um,
process like?
Yeah. So how did I find this was my mission? I always had an inkling there was something. So even if we take back to living in Ukraine, which was until I was 12, I remember having a sense that my life is going to go a little bit differently to just the traditional path and route. I did not know how. I did not know at that time that my family were going to emigrate and that I would end up living in different countries. But that was my first sense of awareness. And then the other was, A, it found me, but B, really, it was through trial and error and giving myself permission to try and experience different things, from understanding quite early on that I don't fit into a traditional narrative, and slowly coming into acceptance of it. Once I did, then right, well, if there isn't a narrative that fits me, if there isn't a traditional role that fits me, if I have tried multiple things, but they are not what I'm looking for, then what is it? And then collecting those pieces until I put together a puzzle and realize, oh, that's because there isn't one. I meant to create it. And I think that was that, along with the birth of my daughter, were instrumental key points for me. With her, I realized, like, if I had those choices before, I wasn't actively making them. But when my daughter came into existence and she was born, I had a reason to make those choices. And also, I thought there was so much value in being with her that the choices that I had to make really had to be as hard-led as raising a child, because I still believe this is one of the most important things that we as women came here to realize, right? Like we are vessels, we are vortexes in bringing new life into the world. So I felt like that was a big responsibility, and if there was something that would take me away from that, it would have to have the same weight and value, equal to to the life that I created, as it were.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And how, giving birth to another human being in a way is like being born yourself in a different
Oh,
way.
yeah, 100%. I believe that that's one of, we go through multiple initiations in life, but this is definitely one of the initiations that we undergo as women. And yeah, you're 100% right. It's written into the biology. There's a complete changeover. And so in having that, that created a purpose. And I remember always thinking, what is my purpose and how do I find my purpose? And once I saw that purpose in front of me, then everything else was about just filling in the blanks and connecting the dots, because the purpose is here. The purpose is life.
Yes, that's right. And once you live on purpose, and that is, the foundational piece of your work, everything just makes sense and your life is so much richer. It's like when you don't know your purpose, you're just going through life. You're just going through the motions and you do what you're meant to be doing or what you think you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
But, you don't really have power to choose what you want to do. You're just letting society, culture, family tell you what to do. So that's why.
Yeah, you're not fully living, are you? You're kind of half awake. As you said, you're going through the motions. There isn't that motivation and inspiration. There isn't that drive. For me, purpose was, I remember when I felt or I experienced that I was lacking in purpose, it was always, one of the ways that I knew that I would be is I would be looking forward to getting up in the morning, because there was a reason to do that. And I would be, I would feel happy and fulfilled and grateful for another day. So that was one of the ways I knew I tapped into the thing that I want to do, because if you ask anyone who knows me closely, I'm extremely upbeat and happy in the morning, perhaps for some people too much. But I would definitely not have it any other way, or have it less than that, because what is the purpose otherwise?
Exactly. And our time here is limited, unfortunately. So, I mean, you need to wake up and be energized and
Yes.
be, ready to take on the world. So, absolutely. Is that
Right.
the core question?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. You want to be powered by passion.
Yes, exactly. That changes everything. And it's also contagious. And I'm sure it helps you find the right ideal clients, because people are attracted to our energy. And in your case, I mean, I know for a fact, because of the work you do, that it's very much that people who resonate with the work you do, and people who understand what you do, which is not always easy, those are the people who are going to end up working with you. And if you like, why don't you share, because you founded the House of Aphrodite,
Yes.
a wonderful name.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a bit about that? What was the creation process? What is it? And how do you help women?
Of course. So House of Aphrodite is a cutting-edge transformational coaching and personal development company that delivers consciousness tools for upliftment of humanity. And it came about when I was transitioning from a personal brand. I felt like I've outgrown the personal brand, and I wanted to create something that would live sort of outside of me, that would possibly involve other people. I wanted to cover and provide for other people, and I wanted to be something that would encompass and incorporate a more a more global outlook and perspective. And for me, the birth of House of Aphrodite coincided with a personal transition. So I've decided to move countries. I had a change in my personal life. So like, I felt like I've outgrown a lot of places and spaces, personally, professionally, energetically, and even physically, location wise. And and really it was an evolution of, as I said, of all of those shifts, where I understood that in order for me to sustain, nourish, and continue doing the work that I do, the business needed to graduate beyond something. And I was also, as a result of all of that, going through quite a heavy burnout. I did the traditional mistake of thinking that I can do it all, I should do it all, and I can carry it all, which wasn't the case. So it took about a year to really bring myself back to full optimal health and vitality. But the payoff for having to spend so much time in really opened up, and I've started realizing that this was very, very much like giving birth to something else, to something that was, as I said, an evolution of the personal brand. And it's a company with growth potential, with ability to scale and go just beyond the environment that we were delivering at that time. And I still stand strongly by that now.
Love it. And I love what you said about allowing yourself the time and the space to be, because we are human beings, and we sometimes think we are human doings, and we go into this hectic lifestyle, and that doesn't serve anybody. So
no, and in fact, I think one of the things that is happening, one of the shifts that we're living now, is very much that shift, is the shift from doing to being. And this is causing a lot of confusion, because of course we are raised in a paradigm where doing is the key. We define ourselves by our doing, and we actually redefine ourselves by our being. And I've seen it multiple times with clients, colleagues, and contemporaries, that there's so much shame and guilt and judgment when we're almost forced, and we often, like me, had to get into a position where we are forced to slow down because of how much value the society assigns to the doing part of it. And yet so much beauty that can come out of this beingness. So even though I work with the tools of energetic, even though I know mindset, even though I knew about health and vitality, because again, how deeply indoctrinated we are into the doing part of it, I literally had to spend all the energetic budget allocated to me in order to realize. But we also know that purpose has a funny way of straightening us out, and like truly the value and the quality of your work goes up when you're forced to apply your own tools on yourself. So it was a blessing of disguise of sorts.
Definitely, I so agree. We become our best testimonials.
Yes,
that's how we can help others.
That is mastery, exactly. So it's like when everything goes up in the air and there is nothing to rely on but the tools that you have, that's when mastery happens.
Definitely. And to everybody watching this, mastery, this is the key word. When you follow Antonina, and I really recommend you connect with her, and when you read her posts, when you're in her energy, you will feel that mastery. That's why I said she embodies the goddess energy, because that's what you feel just by reading her posts. And I have to say, Antonina, as long as Facebook shows me your posts, I always read them right till the end, because one, you write really well, you communicate yourself really, really well, but there's always power in those posts. There's always lessons. There's always something that makes you think, or it gives you a different perspective. So I think you're very generous in the way you share your knowledge and your expertise through your posts. So
I really appreciate that. I remember when I was starting out, it took me weeks to prepare my first post, and there was absolutely no response whatsoever. So hearing this just warms my heart and tells me that, it was worth it, because I remember those first tentative steps into sharing like your creative expression, and what a long way has like how long it's been and how it evolved. So thank you.
No, it's true, and I wanted to tell you, because sometimes we don't get the chance to say that, but yeah, I'm grateful for your posts, and I'm grateful that we are connected. I said at the beginning, it's been such a joy to watch your incredible growth, because I think we're all connected to many people online, and some another wrong with that is, and sometimes you see people who are just stuck because they're still revolving around their own ways, and you want to just say, get out of that. But, it's their life. And then you see other people just like you, and you see them up leveling and up leveling and up leveling, and it's just like, yes. It's a celebration. So I could just go on speaking with you forever, because I love your conversation and you're bringing so many insights, but I also know that you have another appointment later. So if you like, why don't we speak a bit about the terrible situation that the people in Ukraine are going through, and how so many people, and I think in a way those are the lucky ones, having to find refuge. And let me just, lucky in just taking obviously. There's so many people having to flee with nothing except their dignity, their bravery, their courage, their conviction. And we are seeing, like right here, like where I live, there's already a few hundred people living here with different families. And in Women Power Spain, we've created a full program for them to feel, I mean, like saying feel better just sounds
Mhm.
empty.
Yeah.
We're just trying to, we cannot even understand what they're going through. That is the truth. But we're just here to support them in any way we can, to listen to them, to
Yeah.
maybe make their time here, hopefully it's a short time, easier in the way that we're giving them the tools to learn Spanish, also learn English, it depends all, and even help them find work. And there are
Yes.
many resources available. And luckily we're doing that, and we're trying to give them that sense of belonging, because there
Mm.
is a big community here already, so they can, you know, mingle, they can connect. I think connection at this point is so important.
So
And
important. You're absolutely right.
exactly, and connecting with people who are going through the same thing. So we are there for them if they need us, but I think the community they are building here is what's going to really help them deal with this, if there's any way they can deal with this.
You're
So
right. Yeah.
so
You're right.
that's, you know, a bit of what we're doing, but you know this
Mm.
a lot better than we do, obviously. So
Sure.
how do you think we can help them, or what would you like to say regarding this?
I mean, you have named so many beautiful things, and I think you've tapped into some key points here. One being that because of the magnitude of the situation right now, from what I have observed, from what I have seen and even experienced through my own family members, um, connection, compassion, and cooperation is key. Most people are in a state of shock and are displaying, one of the four trauma responses. If for those who have managed to leave the country, they're probably in a culture shock of sorts. And also they've lived through a deeply traumatic time. So it is understandable that they may be striving towards spending time with others who have just lived through something similar, because these are the only people who would understand. So the first thing that I want people to get is that, these people are in a deep sense of shock. They might not show it, but it's there. And that is and they live through a huge amount of stress, having to flee their homes, having to find somewhere to live. As we said, whether it's temporary or not. Some of them have gone through bouts of hunger. So there's a lot of internal processes that are taken, and it will cause and create reactions that aren't natural and aren't native to them. So we have to understand, I think, psychological health and mental health are key pointers. And I'm in touch with a lot of people who are doing, thank God, like the country has undergone a massive transformation, and that field is very well I want to say occupied. So there's a lot of mental help and solutions that are being offered by the natives. But really, that's a key factor to consider. And the other thing that I have seen and witnessed is, obviously, we talked about the being and the doing, but we know that there is the country has undergone massive. They have lived with the stress to a degree the last 8 years, but we also must understand in that time they have built something for themselves, and now that has been taken away from them. They don't know when they're going to go home. A lot of their businesses have come to a halt, or they're having to transition their business, let's say if we're talking about online business, to a completely different audience. So what I have seen, what I have witnessed, what I have heard from them is they just want to be given opportunity. They want to be given opportunity to earn their keep. They are very aware that people of Europe or throughout the world have been so gracious in offering help, opening up their homes and providing them with the basic living standards. And I think a lot of them just want to be able to occupy themselves, because there are actually studies that the stress receptors go down if you can keep yourself occupied. Otherwise you get, you drown in the sea of information, and then you get overtaken by emotions. So like the number one request I have heard from my fellow countrymen is, we just want to do something. So really the help could be either that of providing a safe space, a safe environment, so they can express their emotion and just live through them. They can just close that emotional way, and or to the same degree it would be hiring them, being open to cooperating with them and working themselves. There we have such an amazing array of specialists who have skill set that are so in demand. Our IT specialists are well known in the world. Our artists and creators, very well known for that as well. And then I foresee a number of businesses that were aimed at Ukrainian speaking market or Ukrainian Russian speaking market having to reroute themselves and reposition themselves. But I can say with confidence that even if hypothetically they were lacking in some of their language skills, they have the know-how and the knowledge that is light years ahead of what I have seen in the West. So when I started kind of coming back to my roots and looking for ideas, inspiration, I was taken aback about how forward online business ideas and creativity, how well developed they were in the Eastern European countries. So I think there's a lot of potential should they be, given a chance to showcase that. And I think this is a call for the whole world to being open in their compassion, to surpass their own prejudice and in creating opportunities for us to all kind of cross-pollinate with each other, and in that's the creation of something new, isn't it? This opening opportunity for us to all learn from each other. As big and as scary and as crisis-driven this is, I think that the way it has opened up people's heart has been unprecedented, and we're so grateful being the case.
That was so beautiful, so helpful, and I'm glad that it seems like we are on the right track with what we've been creating, because we are basing it on those pillars: connection, building community for them, helping them find a job so that they can feel, integrated and useful. Yes. And as we were saying, like not being all the time thinking about the terrible drama, because they also need that mental. We also have a team of coaches and psychologists. So, but this was really, really helpful. And to anyone watching this, if you want to collaborate, we actually have people not just from Spain. Mm-hmm. We have people helping from the US, Canada, the UK, Latin America. So there's people who speak English, people who speak Spanish, and we are trying to find actual Ukrainians who can also help in their own language.
I'll spread the word to my community as well. So I'm involved in a couple communities and curating them. We can speak behind the scenes, and I'd be happy to, because that's been the number one request from freelancers and from the connections that I know, that we're happy to help. They build a massive network with each other, but they also continue looking where they can contribute so that they feel worthy, because everyone is just massively appreciative of the chance that they've been given, and they want to demonstrate that they are, that it means something to them as well, and they're willing and wanting to invest in their own countrymen, but it's also giving back in terms of reinvesting that back into the hard economy.
Yes, lovely. Okay, yes. So let's take this conversation behind the scenes. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I just wish the whole world the best, and let's see if it can end as soon as possible. And now, changing completely, we have Mr. DK Bakshi join us here today. Welcome, DK. How are you?
Hi, Melanie. Good evening and good afternoon around Europe. And I am absolutely great right in India right now, going back to Bangkok next week. And I'm delighted to have someone from Ukraine who is born in Ukraine, and right now, what's going on in the world. And I can understand the pain Ukrainian people are facing. It's another genocide of the world, which is happening right now. And Europe and the world is going to be in a messy situation, very sad situation. And Antonina, glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And in fact, I am thankful to our Women Power Spain, Melanie, who has taken an initiative of doing some support to the Ukrainian people, because they are suffering. I can understand the suffering because Melanie knows me. I am also one of the victims of the genocide, and we have gone through a messy situation. Having said that, first of all, I would like to thank you, Antonia, for spending time to be here. You have a very fantastic background.
Thank you.
It's very, very impressive. I was just doing a Google search this afternoon when I was informed about you. Very great background, and I salute you for that background. So you are a woman of substance for us. And that is the power of this show, that we get people across the world to share their stories of success so that others who are still struggling can learn from the story of success. Having said that, I think it's a very important thing for us. And for me personally, I have 23, rather now 25 chapter heads. And people keep on telling me, you always talk about Melanie. Melanie is very close to me. And Melanie is someone whom I respect, love, and regard, because she has been with me on this journey of hashtag Women Power Global Movement from day one. I repeat every time, and I want to reinforce and repeat. And she never got tired into this. Rather, she always got more and more.
No chance.
And she has brought wonderful women from different nationalities, from different religions, from different countries to this global movement, what we have got. And we have already personally have interacted whatever time I could do. And beyond that also we have interacted with many women of excellence like you. So I am grateful to Melanie, my proud Women Power chapter head for Spain, whom I invited in fact to India for the recent face-to-face event. She could not make it, but I am not going to leave her. I am going to invite her to Bangkok in India soon. I always say that, Melanie, you are more famous in Asia Pacific than Europe, which is the fact. So that's the power of Melanie Falve. And it's not, I know my respect for her, my regard for her, because she has been consistently working with the entire team and making things to happen. And what journey you shared has been fantastic. There are people already on the Facebook. I was watching them. Manisha was watching you on the Facebook chapter head of Bangkok. I saw Aruni Baga. And in fact, Melanie, you should share the Women Power song with your guest of honor today. You should send her that song. And that is sung by Aruni Baga, who is already on the Facebook watching you right now. And all of you women have made me proud that I can certainly think about being more and more passionate about this particular intervention which I have taken. It's a personal belief. And I just want to share with you and ladies and gentlemen and the audience, we had 26th of February, 150 women power in Bangkok, first face-to-face, with 6 women ambassadors of different countries, as well as Indian women ambassadors. And we had people from Chamber of Commerce. And we had 5th of March in India, and Dr. Kiran Bedi with, again, 150 women, 2 major events. And another event is happening in Mumbai. Anshul Sharma, our Women Power chapter had Mumbai last week of April. And another women chapter is happening in May in England. Manisha is traveling from Bangkok. She's going to be attending. I don't know whether Milani can get time, take a flight to London to be. So this is going to be face-to-face, as well as this will continue. But I don't want to, earlier we had Saturday. Now I say, let's be flexible. Any person has time any day, and whatever timing suits them. You see, for Europe, 4:30 is a good time. So let's do it 4:30. And it's not necessary to do on Saturday. Let's do it Monday, let's do it Tuesday. So there's a lot of flexibility, and let's take it forward and make sure that women learn from these stories of excellence which are shared. Grateful, thankful to you as our guest of honor this evening, and especially I appeal around the world that we are in a crisis right now, and this crisis is a deep crisis. I don't know where world is going to be.
Yes.
In case things do not improve in next week, 10 days time, it's going to be disaster. But let's all collectively support those refugees who are coming out of Ukraine, so that whatever support we can give from our side, we should be helping them so that they can rebuild their lives. Otherwise, I don't know. So humanity is at a question mark. I feel sad about it, and I feel bad about it, and I feel mad about it. So my emotional, my sentimental support, and whatever we can do as hashtag Women Power, initiated by my super Women Power, Milane, we will support it, Milane. Take your initiatives, contact all your women power in the world, and we are there with you to support whatever we can. I will certainly hear your complete story later on, and I will comment back later on because I was not available in between, so I could not hear the story. But at the same time, from the core of my heart, and folded hands, and salute you for being part of this Women Power show and contributing to our movement. Thank you very much. And Milane, no words to express gratitude to you. I know you are in mid of Europe, and we are all worried about it. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, keep watching hashtag Women Power, a global movement. People like Milane, Manisha's, Prandanya, Anshul, all of these women power are making a difference. I may be there, I may not be there, but this movement is going to be carried forward and making a difference in the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DK. Thank you. Always so inspiring. And I have to agree, I'm so grateful that Antonina was able to carve the time. I know you're so busy, and I don't want to keep you on because I know you have another appointment, Antonina. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for doing the work you do. And I'm just so happy that we are connected. And let's see what else we can do to collaborate and support. And everybody watching, please connect with Antonina. She's someone you need to be connected with. And again, we'll see you again, maybe next Saturday, next Monday, next Tuesday. Now it's even more exciting. We don't know what day it's going to be, but always come back to this page so you can watch the inspiring stories, the journeys of women who have become successful doing the work. And that just means that you can do it too. So to everybody watching, thank you so much.
Appreciate your time and effort and presenting skills. Thank you.
Good luck. All the best. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.